those of you who got an invite, welcome to Nerd Prom.
No matter where in the world you are, we're all Nerds International. With the hyphen.
Alright, YouTubers, it's Mr. Mean coming at you from sunny Beaumont, Texas. Today is Monday. I just got off work a little while ago, took my wife to dinner, and we had a wonderful time. But I just got back from Chupracabracon IV. And the guys at Chupracabracon, Terry, Sheena, Jeff, Roger, Robert, and the rest of the guys convention last year, and what a miserable time I had, and how it wasn't, and I don't know if I said it in that video because I didn't go back and watch it, but I want to reiterate or clarify that it wasn't so much the con that I had a big problem with, it was the hotel staff. It was just horrible. I'll put a link in this video. Actually, I'm not going to put a link into it because I don't want to hash old stuff. Needless to say, Terry and crew reached out to the Wingate staff, and they cleared up everything, and they got everything set up to where this year, I'm telling you, it was night and day. It was a 1,000-degree turnaround, if such a thing is possible. There were no covers over water fountains. There were no unplugged vending machines. There was more room. You could walk between tables. It was well ventilated. It wasn't stuffy. It was just, all in all, it was a good time. They had a bar open there where you could buy drinks, and they were reasonably priced. The bartender was pouring good drinks. There was, juice and tea for those of you who don't drink, and, bottled water and stuff. And it wasn't terribly priced. And what I did find out later is that when you purchase stuff from the hotel, it went towards a food tab that the con had. So they had to sell, part of the deal was they had to sell X amount of, food and beverages to basically meet like a quota, and then everything else, I guess, went from there. So I hope they made that. I don't know. I'm not privy to that information, but I will say that the hotel staff that I dealt with this year were extremely polite, very customer service oriented, and just well presented. Everyone was very nice. People said hi, things like that. So it was a good time had. I'm going to futz around with my video here, and I'm going to do a couple things that I normally don't do, but I got a picture of the staff. They actually comped my entrance to the con, gave me and my wife a VIP. It was amazing. We had a great time. The only thing we had to worry about was getting down there. Terry and Sheena and Jeff took excellent care of us, made sure that everything was going well. The games were very organized. The website was a little bit better. Still had some minor issues. I did hear some people complaining, but I think Jeff is aware of it and is working on the website issues. I'm hoping he'll, and Jeff, if you watch this, which I hope you will, take a look at Warhorn, MagCon, MAGCON, in New Caney, Texas, David Donahoe's convention. They use Warhorn, and I've gone 3 years in a row, and I've never had any problems with signing up for events and registering my events and all that fun stuff. So hopefully that might be something that you guys can look at in the future, and maybe provide some better service to everybody, because the majority of the complaints I heard were because of the website. People signed up and stuff wasn't getting up there or whatever, and that's not anybody's fault. That's whoever their web hosting is, and all that fun stuff. So our, long story short, fabulous weekend. Sean Patrick Fannin, Shane Hensley, Ed Waterman, Clint Black, Jody Black, John Wick, Ross Watson. I mean, it's just the whole Pinnacle crew was there. Some other people were there. Robert Schwab was there again. I ran into him in the elevator. Super nice guy. I mean, just Robert Schwab is he's done a lot of work for a lot of various companies, but most notably Shadow of the Demon Lord, which is a phenomenal RPG. If you don't have it, go pick it up. Of course, he did a lot of work on D&D, the 4th and 5th edition, I believe. The whole crew from Pinnacle was just phenomenal. Shane ran an awesome DC versus Marvel superhero game that was a blast. Sean ran a superhero game, which unfortunately I overslept, and my deepest apologies to Sean. But of course, there was a waiting list, so someone got to play. We went to a restaurant on the other side in Austin, a new sushi, rotating sushi bar that had opened up called Kula, Kula. And I overate, and I passed out from a food coma, and I did not wake up. Don't tell Sean. He'll be mad at me. But it was good, and I had a good time. I did get into another game and had a blast. Fun time had another Savage World superhero setting. It was a little bit over the top, a little kooky. I played a character called King Tun, who was this 7 foot tall, 800-pound, super muscled, just tank of a man with a huge belly, and he would do this, he would slap his belly, and then the shock wave would go out and just tear stuff up. So it was a blast. I had a lot of fun. Got to play that. So that being said, I can't say enough how wonderful the convention went. Everything, at least on my end, was super smooth. Again, I did have a little problem with the website. I tried to sign up and run a Fantasy Age game, and unfortunately it never took it. I never got any confirmation. Nothing ever happened. And then Saturday, or late Friday night, at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm talking with one of the other convention goers, and I was talking about, I was going to run Fantasy Age, but it never got. And he's like, I never got up on the website. And he's like, oh no, it's there. I'm like, well, it wasn't Thursday night before I went to bed. And he goes, oh no, it's there. And sure enough, it was there. But I left all my stuff at home because I didn't see it on the website. I never got a confirmation back saying that it was approved or anything. So I just took it for granted that I'm just going to play games all weekend. And in all fairness, I had told Jeff that if any of the GMs for most of the games, like the Star Wars or the D&D or anything like that, if they bailed, I would step in so they could run the game and the game not get canceled. So I thought maybe, well, he's going to use me in that capacity since they were generous enough to pay for me to go to the con. So I thought, oh, well, maybe he doesn't want me to run a game. He wants me to be on standby in case something happens and they need me, which I was totally fine with. So it was no big deal. I went to Jeff afterwards, and he had his tablet with him Saturday morning, and I said, hey, this is what happened to ABC. And he went boop, boop, boop on his tablet, and he goes, game's deleted, no worries. So, just good customer service right there, just making sure people didn't show up for a game that wasn't going to be run or ran and be disappointed, because I know that's a huge pet peeve of mine. So they had, aside from that, like I said, I can't say enough nice things about Terry and Sheena and Jeff and the whole staff. Everybody bent over backwards to make sure everybody was having a good time. And I can honestly say I did have a good time. I got to play in a lot of games. I think I played in 4 or 5 games, and I had a blast. So I think it goes without saying that barring any financial difficulties, I'll be back next year. And I look forward to having a blast. But that was the positive rant about the con. Again, if you were considering going and you heard a lot of negativity that was last year and the year before, put it behind you. They've worked it out with the Wingate. I'm hoping the financials come back and Wingate will have them back next year, because the venue, being able to stay there at the hotel and just walking down to the conference room was amazing. They had more rooms this time, so it was a lot better laid out. The tables weren't so crowded in the main conference hall. So again, I can't rave enough about it. If you guys are interested in going and you were on the fence, get off the fence, book your tickets for next year and go. It's totally worth it. It's a small convention, but man, they pack a wallop. And there was a lot of good games. Savage Saturday Night was awesome. There was a lot of other games there. There was Living L5R, Legends of the Five Rings, Heroes of Rokugan were there. They taught me how to play. I've never played 4th edition. I'm going to segue into the games that I played. So I had the character sheets, and then I don't know what happened to them. I'm disarrayed from my movie. But I do have my L5R character sheet. And then this is the Heroes of Rokugan little sheet that you fill out, and you kind of keep track of it, and you keep it in a binder. The GM signed it. I have no idea what his name is because I couldn't read that if my life depended on it, and I don't think you could either. But I played a Dragon Clan Bushi, Miyamoto Shozento, which is a favorite character of mine, and I just resurrected him for 4th edition. The module number was CIT01, so I guess it was an intro level adventure for new players. I got my player number, which was 2742, and that will allow me to play in other living Rokugan games, so that's pretty awesome. I had a blast. It was a lot of fun. I didn't think I was going to like it because I'm such a huge fan of 1st and 2nd edition of L5R, and I do own the 4th edition books, and I read them, and I didn't like them. They were too crunchy. +2 for this, +1 for that, minus for this, plus this. I don't like all that crunch. My default go-to game is Savage Worlds because it's a +2, +4, -2, -4. You're done. Or a plus or -1 if it's not something serious. So super easy game to run. But this I could see playing. I definitely got the feel. The GM did a great job of expressing the feel and the world of the game. And I whipped up a character in literally 10 minutes. I mean, it was pretty quick. Now, he's a bare bones character. There was nothing in-depth about him. But I did enjoy him. So that being said, that was one of the games I played. I also played in Shane Hensley's DC versus Marvel, and it was a blast. It was a hoot. I played Etrigan the Demon. I was killed on turn 3, and the way Shane had the thing is, of course, it's superheroes, so you never die. So I lost a turn, but unfortunately at the start of turn 5, the game ended, so I didn't get to come back into the game. But that being said, Etrigan the Demon managed to get clear across the board in one turn and take out 2 pillars in the next turn. So it was amazing. In turn 2, I took out 1 pillar, and in turn 3, I took out another pillar. So I hit like a freight train. It was awesome, and I felt very accomplished that what my character did, and I helped our team. The game ended in a draw, and both worlds survived, so it was pretty awesome. So nobody really lost, nobody really won, but everybody survived. There were pillars. There were 6 pillars, and if you destroyed the pillars of the opposing team, you destroyed their reality. But unfortunately, we had Constantine, who was played by Clint Black, and he had an ability where he could destroy both pillars if he made the roll, and he made the roll in spades. He did really well. So it was a really fun game. Shane, as always, runs an awesome game, and he's just a pleasure to game with. And as always, the Pinnacle staff is awesome. And then, of course, Sean Patrick Fannin was there. And I got him to sign my Shintar book. Now I backed it early, and I got the PDF. I didn't back the physical book, but I picked them up, and I couldn't find my hard copy of the book. But this one works really great to take to conventions and let people. But he signed it for me, and it's written in there. You can see it down there, hopefully. So I was really excited about that. So I got Shane to sign that. I got SPF to sign that, but I had the Deadlands, which hopefully you guys watch my unboxing of and my review of. I got Shane to sign Keep Your Powder Dry, John Shane, Chupra 2017. So he signed it for me right down there at the bottom. So that was pretty cool. And this is the collector's edition, the Kickstarter edition of it. George Valikos was there, and I have to apologize to him because I made a complete ass of myself. I got him confused with Chris Pramis. I don't know why I had that on the brain, but I'm talking to him. I'm going, yeah, Mutants and Masterminds, great game. Da-da-da. And he's sitting there listening to me, and he gives me this look like, what is this asshole talking about? And then he finally says, I'm not Chris Pratt. And I said, no, you're George. And he goes, George Valikos. And I go, yeah, you're George. And I knew that. And All Flesh Must Be Eaten and Buffy. And, I did a lot of work for you on those games. And I did a lot of demos. And he remembered. And that was super cool. So they had some handouts for The Walking Dead, which was their free RPG day 2014. He found a case in his study when he was cleaning up his office. So he had a whole bunch. So I picked one up. I should have got him to sign it, but I didn't. But it was awesome. I didn't have this in my collection because I didn't go to RPG Day. So that was kind of cool. I picked that up. The dealer's room in the con was kind of small. There wasn't a whole lot of people there. But there was a couple vendors. And the guys from Cracked Monocle were there. And I've done a review on Tephra. And if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. It's a very cool game. Very steam fantasy. Steampunk role-playing game. I like to call it fantasy punk with a little steam thrown in. But this is Pets and Predators. So it's a bunch of new monsters and critters, and then pets for your game. And it's a small book. It was $12, and it's only 32 pages long. But I didn't have it, and they were there, and I wanted to support them. I already had everything else they made because I bought it from them last year when I went. So I didn't have this. They had some new PDF stuff, but I figure I'll wait till the books come out because I have everything in print. So I want to keep everything in print. So I bought that. I haven't done a review of it yet. I may or I may not. I don't know. And then the other cool thing I got is I got some poker chips. And what's cool about them is they say Chupracabracon, Austin, Texas, which I thought was pretty cool. And it's got Chango on there. Chango is their mascot. So I got 20 of them because you can never have enough bennies in Savage Worlds. So these are nice generic benny. So I'm happy to have got those. They were like $13, I think, $12. So I picked $12.99. Look, it's written right there. If I could read, I'd be dangerous. So Chango bennies, $12.99. So awesome. I was glad I got them. They sold out like hotcakes. So I managed to pick up a set on Friday, and then Jeff told me that he was going to go home that night and work on making some more. So I've got some food on my chin. Oh well, no big deal. The cool thing that I did get, though, is I was playing in Conan. And right next to where the Conan by Modifius 2D20, I was playing, and I'm going to say right off the bat, I did not care for the GM. I've got a lot of writing credits. I've got a ton of playtesting credits in a lot of different games. I've playtested a ton of games. But I don't go to conventions and brag about it. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about the guy. He prefaced it by saying he was tired, he was up really late, but he just kept droning on. He spent an hour bragging about his playtest credits, and finally I interrupted him. I said, hey man, I got to leave soon, so I'd like to play, but I don't really care about your playtest credits, The sad, disheartening part is I looked in the books that he said he had playtest credits. I couldn't find his name. I'm not going to mention his name. That's in poor taste in my opinion, but maybe he did do it. I know there's a couple books that I don't have playtest credits in, but I did playtest, and that's okay. But the point is, you don't need to brag about it. You mentioned, hey, I've done some playtesting, I've helped out. They put your name in a book. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But we don't need to hear about it for an hour, And it just his GMing style and mine and my player style did not mesh, and I'm smart enough to recognize that. So I got up and I walked away. No offense to him. I just said, hey, my baby's sick, which my baby was being a little grumpy, and my wife wanted to get on the road. We had a 4-hour drive back to Beaumont, so I wasn't trying to be, I didn't want to come off as a dick, and his roommate and his wife were very nice, and he was well set up for his game. He had his laptop, he had some speakers, and he had some ambient sound, Conan soundtrack and stuff from the Dino De Laurentiis movies, which was awesome. The game was just, the pace was too slow for my taste, and his GMing style was just not conducive to my player style. And that happens because I'm a GM first and foremost and a player second. So you got to keep it moving for me. But while I was playing that, there was a guy setting up his booth behind us, or he was coming in for the morning because the game was 9:30 in the morning, and he had a game, and it caught my eye, called Early Dark, the role-playing game. And it's first edition, and they're based out of Austin, Texas. So of course they went to Chupracabracon, and it's very cool. I got him to sign it. There's a little first printing in here, and this is number 633 out of 2,000. So pretty cool. I don't know if they did a Kickstarter or not. They've got another game coming called Centennial Gothic, which is going to be set in 1876 in North America. The United States of America, however, no longer exists. Instead, a collection of nations vie for control in the New World, including new Japanese colony, greedy European players, and the Republic of Texas, and coalition of native populations. So kind of a play off of like Deadlands, but more steampunkish, judging from the art. You can go to their website, which is anthroposgames.com, all one word. So it's ANTHROPOS games, GAMES.com. And I'm not going to do a full-blown review. Needless to say, it's a pretty chunky book. Let's see, how many pages are we kicking here? There's character sheet, 399 pages. Back 2 or 3 pages are a little bit of fiction. Book appears to be laid out really well. It's hardback, and it looked pretty nice. And he described it as a darker version of Conan. I guess they were trying to get the rights, or they were looking at doing a Conan game, and they didn't have the rights, or he kind of made it sound like Modiphius beat them to the punch, and so they re-envisioned their game. They went back to the drawing board, and then they spit this game out. And it looks pretty cool. It's based off of D10s. I'm a D10 fan, so I'm excited about that. And so look forward to a review coming from that. Like I said, let's see, what else did I play in? I played in the Conan game. I played in the L5R game. Oh, and I played a Star Wars game that a young lady had ran, and she did a phenomenal job. It was a lot of fun. So good, and the players were awesome. So good time. Again, just all the games were good. The players in the Conan game were really cool. The L5R game, there was 4 of us, and the GM was very patient and went through the rules with us, and we had a good time. Most of us knew a little bit something about L5R, or had seen it or whatever, or knew the concept of it. So the game flowed pretty well. We had a good time. There was no combat. We didn't have not one combat scene in the game. It was all like courtly intrigue in the Mantis land. So it was a lot of fun. Of course, I made a combat monster, but I role-played well, and I made the roles that I needed to make with the courtship and etiquette and everything, so I lucked out. But it was a lot of fun, and I'm definitely going to go check out Heroes of Rokugan for their living campaign and see where else they play, and see if I can go to any of those conventions and play again. So I'm going to insert a picture, and I'll hopefully put it right after the Chupracabracon thing, and I'll probably put it at the end again. It was my wife took a picture of me standing with the staff of Chupracabracon, and it was really awesome. So again, I'm coming up just over 22 minutes here. Long story short, I had a blast. If I forgot to mention anybody's name, it's not on purpose. I apologize. I had a blast. And again, a huge thank you to Sean Patrick Fannin, because without him, none of this would have happened. We had a fantastic weekend. My wife had an excellent Mother's Day. She got to go to her favorite restaurant, Cover 3 there in Austin, and have Mother's Day. She had trout, and she loves trout, and she had sauteed spinach, which is her favorite. So it was a fabulous Mother's Day and a great weekend of gaming, and I had more fun than I know what to do with. I met some great people, and I'm totally excited, and I hope to see them again next year, if not sooner. So as always, this is Mr. Mean signing off, saying peace and hair grease, and as always, be nice. All right, YouTube, I forgot to add something. I got my first request to do a video review from a product that's not yet released. I got contacted by Erland Vanderhagen and a game that he's working on called Ambrosia. And I'm not sure if he's planning on going to Kickstarter with it, or if he's just going to put it out there into the wild. But he sent me a quick start basically for it. I have downloaded it, and I'm in the process of reading it. I hope to get a review up tomorrow or Wednesday, probably most likely Thursday, as I have a Wednesday night game. And I wanted to add this to the Chupracabracon video just because it's going to be short, and I didn't want to add another video. So hopefully I'll try to figure out how to do a transition and end that video and go right into this one, and hopefully it'll be good. But it's a dark fantasy RPG. It looks really cool. I've read a little bit of it. I like how he's doing attributes and skills and how you build a character. But I didn't want to get too deep into it. But I did want to give a shout out to Erland because I think it's mad props, crazy cool that you can throw something out there on the web, a part of yourself, and let people criticize it. And I told him I would give it an honest and fair review. So it's a couple pages long. I definitely want to give it a good read through and then read it again to make sure I understand the concepts that he's trying to throw out there, and then I'll bring you guys an honest review. So just wanted to throw that out there. Didn't mean to go all crazy on the video and stuff, but it was nice of him to reach out to me and ask me to do a review of it. So I wanted to let him know that I am working on it, and I will get a review up hopefully by the end of this week. So anyway, again, as always, peace and hair grease, and be nice.
Those of you who got an invite, welcome to Nerd Prom.
No matter where in the world you are, we're all Nerds International. With the hyphen.